Hi, good morning, everyone. So this episode, I'm going to talk about changing gears. So last three episodes, we built a MEP for a agentic network application. So now I want to go deeper, talk about the ways of working and also demonstrate the different speed at which you can develop with AI. So uh, yeah, so now what does it mean? Say when you drive a car, let me give an analogy. Okay, so when you drive a car, in gear one, you can go maybe 10 km speed. If you go more than that, you cannot go, right? So you can ask a simple request to AI. Say, for example, fixing a logo or login. I'll demonstrate that. So it may generate few lines of code per minute. Second, when you change the gear 2 in the car, you can drive maybe 20-25 kilometers. So you can give a small feature request. For example, building a connections feature for our agentic network. We built profile in previous episodes. Now I can ask it to develop a connection to connect two profiles together. So any changes in the backend and front end. So that I would say gear 2. And when you change gear 3, you can go maybe 35, maybe up to 40 kilometer per hour, right? So now I'm going to take an epic for that matter. So I want to give a specification which I created. I'll show that how did I create the specification. I want to introduce the agentic core for our agentic uh, networking, professional networking. So these are the three topics I'm going to talk about in this episode. So that's why I named it as a changing gears. So let's see what it is. Yeah. So let me move out of PPT and let me talk about those features development. Today I'm going to do a live development. Okay, so now let me just check everything is fine. Yeah. Yeah. So now what you see in the screen, you see only console, right? So in that console, what you see just the command line prompt. I created two command line prompt to start with. So let me show how do I start development. So I start my Claude CLI. Okay, so maybe I'll just warm it up. Okay, so let it maybe go through all the document again. Around 20,000 lines of code is there. So it may take a few minutes to understand. In the meantime, I just log into the agentic platform that we created and I'll talk about the features that we are going to develop. Okay. So now I logged into agentic network, which is a live version, which is running in Firebase and Google Cloud. So when I log in, I see, okay, this is the dashboard that I landed on. So I'm just checking as a maybe as a tester, you see the logo is not set. But if you look at Firebase or Cloud, it is having some logo. So that is the one small user story. I'm going to take it and it may take few minutes to fix. And second thing, last episode we saw there are some glitches in the login. So those two I'm going to do the fix in the mm, gear one, right? So these are the two things I'm going to fix it. So let it get 12 hours with the code. Second feature, the gear 2 feature. Say right now we created profile. So you can go and view the profile. So when you join the network, it doesn't show. So right now also when you view the profile, it is showing is a logged out version kind of thing. So I'm going to build second capability. First capability that we built is the building a login and user profile creation. Now third feature which we are going to put it into the application is the connections. Okay, that is a feature, not a AI part. Okay, now third part is very big. So I'm going to introduce agentic core. For that, I did some analysis. So I'll show how did I say if I want to build Epic, it simple prompt will not work. It may work, but it will create something that you might not intended to create. So for that, you need to do some homework. So it is not the typical way of feasibility analysis or having a product owner and doing IP sprint in your safe execution, etc. It is all going to be in minutes only in the future. Right, I'll tell you how did I explore. So last week after posting the episode 3, I was thinking maybe it's time to introduce AI feature and agentic part. So I went to Claude in the UI. Say Claude UI web interface. So let me just explain. Okay, first I asked, okay, I'm building a professional networking application. So I want to put a first approach. Um, and then it started thinking more. Even I did not give proper prompt. So then it realized, okay, this is a fascinating design question. So then it started talking about, okay, connection, rethinking a connection, what connection means, agent to agent handshake, qualified lead for connection, or it could be for business, human endorsement connection. So then it started thinking and it started putting architectural shift, delegation and permission model, agent reputation, trust score, and human checkpoint, etc. Though then it started uh, thinking, right? Then I asked, okay, what are the agents I need to build? Because I have some thought, but I want to structure my thought with AI. So I asked what are the different agents and what are the different purpose if I want to build agent first networking platform and how all of that should be orchestrated because now agentic there are a lot of different thoughts. You can build agentic workflow, you can do multi-agent, or you can have single agent focused and task-based agent. So I wanted to pick the brain of AI, which is Sonnet 4.5, the latest models from Anthropic. So then it started thinking, okay, it took some time to do a analysis, etc. Then it said agent social graph. Before it all networking, professional networking graph. Now it after that it said a professional agent, personal agent, profile agent, outreach agent, gatekeeper agent. For each agent, what is the purpose and responsibility? So it gave a set of agent, platform side agents, and then it gave the architecture. Okay, now you need to set the goals and preference. So in professional networking, the goals would be different. For one person, the goal could be to get a job. One person goal could be to build the network to improve the skill set. For a engineer, it's a evolving skill, right? You may want to connect with a agent. This completed. We'll come back to this quickly. So it give a proper control plane, orchestration plane, right, and agentic core with the agent and agent to agent protocol and platform layer, etc. So now like this, it gave a lot of inputs. I was having some conversation and gradually I built a very good specification. So there is a specification that you see on the right hand side, which I downloaded, which I'll be giving. I'll open that in my local laptop and show you. So these are the three things that we are going to do. So now our cloud is warmed up, so we'll go get into actions. So if you see, this is the complete specification. Okay. But I'll download it again. Okay, so now this is a specification I'm going to use for the third gear 3. So that will build autonomously everything. So if you see the specification, look at the clarity of the specification. Even human cannot write. I'll maybe spend a couple of minutes here. So it has given agentic core technical specification. So I tweaked it bit, so it created a Firebase version. It given an executive summary, right, and then it has given technical stack. I given input what is the MEP that I built on. I'm using React and then Firebase for the backend. And MEP I already completed for profile creation. So next release content, it is creating that agentic core function, etc. So it is given Firebase architecture and then technology stack, agent framework, LLM integration. I am going with the GPT-5 Mini because that is a cost-effective model and better model at that cost. So I don't want to use Claude 5 for now because it's going to cost me more. I will use Claude Sonnet 5 for coding, but for LLM integration, maybe I'll stick with low-cost model. Later on, I can use some different model for reasoning and some model for low task, simple task. I'll change the model based on the task that I do. So it has created very good specification. This is what I'm going to give it for the Epic development. Okay, let's start building it. So now, where is my plot? Yeah. Okay, what? So it understood the code base, so we don't need to read through. So now it is asking what you would like me to focus on today. So now let's fix the logo first. Okay, so I do not see a logo. I do not see a logo for the application. Please help me to create a nice full logo, agentic networking platform, and set that in the application. So table plans. Yeah, so this is a user story. This is the first one, and second is the login issue. After that, we'll go to the feature development. This is the gear one. Okay, it's minutes or seconds. Mm. Okay, so it's first focusing on creating before creating the logo. It's finding out is there any already a logo. It's very cool. So nowadays, I think you need to know what to ask, not to know what is the answer. That is the new era um, that is coming. You don't need to know how to go and where to put the logo so that it appears in the browser. So you just need to ask what you want. Yeah, now we started working on designing and creating SVG logo. Before in the traditional world, we need one designer or you ask for a logo creator. So you will do some iteration and you will come back with some logo. So it created a. For now, I'll keep a control and give approval for every change. Later on, maybe when we go for Epic, I'll give full control. Yeah, now it's creating the favicon files, which will be loaded in the browser icon. So you don't need to be a front-end developer. You don't need to be a back-end developer. All you need to know, how do you work as a AI engineer? You need to know basically, you need to know the breadth, not the depth anymore. So new skill. Yeah, in the future, you need to know only breadth. Depth, AI will know. In the T-shaped skill or pie-shaped skill, the depth will be AI responsibility. Breadth will be the only the human responsibility. Yeah, now it's copying the favicon file into the right location. So it's creating a component properly so that it can be reused in many pages. So you can relax nowadays. The load, cognitive load on developer will not be high in the future. So all you need to know, say the coding will be done by AI. You can relax and then you don't need to focus every line and then do the coding for every character. So you just need to kind of put it in auto cruise and then sit relax. It is making any changes in anywhere else. So typically when you make a change, you need to do the impact analysis and then make the relevant changes. Cloud Code is very good at it. So it never misses any related areas. So it's adding the logo in sign in page. Yeah, now it's heading into sign up page. You don't know whether it added in dashboard page. Let us see. So look at the way it developed. First, it developed, it created a logo, and it created a component, logo component, and then it is adding that component in all the pages. Yeah, now it's saying, let me test it. Okay. Yeah, this is what it's interesting. When you do a developer, so after all of that, he will build. So now it's building now. So automatically it will code everywhere. And it did the impact analysis and did the changes in all the places. Now it's trying to build to see is it's getting any TypeScript error, any mm, not imported import error, etc. So any syntax error. So if it finds any error, it will fix it automatically. You don't need to ask for the prompt. So Cloud Code has engineered that way of doing autonomously coding and then building, testing. Testing, it's not unit testing. Basically the building, compilation error, and making sure compile-free code is generated. And most of the time, 99%, it doesn't create any uh, error. Okay. Okay, now it is saying it's ready. So it will give a summary. What are the changes it will do? It has done. So it created a logo and it updated in login, landing page, dashboard page, sign in page, sign up page, and link to complete page. Okay, so now mm, so if you don't know the command how to deploy, you can ask, say, I use 2-3 Firebase project to test. So I want to make sure I use the right project. So it is saying, okay, now it is, so now it understood that since I am asking the command, so I need help in deploying. So it may deploy by itself also. So sometimes I keep the deployment under my control. Otherwise, it will simply deploy for every change. But let me just give the control now. So to make sure the Firebase project is used, it is checking Firebase project list, and then it is setting the agent Firebase. It is using agentic network. It's very smart. It's smarter than a senior developer. Now it's checking everything before deployment. Perfect, your configuration is correct. Here is the verification and deployment guide. Okay. Yeah, so it is using agentic network. Now, deployment guide. We need to do Firebase deploy hosting. So let me do the Firebase build. When you don't go select specifically, it will deploy everything. So let me build everything and deploy only front end. If you have any questions, you can post it in the comments in YouTube or LinkedIn. So I'll try to answer. Deploy is also building, so maybe next time we don't need to build before. Yeah, so now what we'll do, we'll skip the, after this, we'll skip the login issue that I'll do later. We'll go to the connection feature and the autonomous agentic core. Okay, so now we deployed. Let's see. I think I'm curious to see what is the logo it created. So right now here you see there is no logo. Okay, so now let me refresh. Yeah. So see, put it thought through what should be the icon. So since it is networking, so assume the person can make a effective connection. So it generate a very nice icon. Even a logo creator wouldn't have thought through this purpose. Okay, now this is done. So how long it took? Maybe 20 minutes, right? So now I did not do any coding. So now this is done. So now let's go to the second feature. So now, which is the second feature? Building a net connection, right? So now I'll give it an autonomous capability. So now let me, yeah, let me appreciate. Now we need to build connection feature. So I written some prompt, I just copy pasted. So basically I'm saying now we have created the profile feature, or we I think I'll simplify and saying too many unwanted words. So I'll simplify the prompt. Basically I'm saying I have the profile feature. So I want to build connections feature. So okay, let it be. So now that we have created profile feature, I want to build connections feature. Please analyze the code base and make necessary changes in the backend and front end code. Make sure you think architect design well before start coding, and choose the good design principle. For example, keeping all the user data under user collection, discoverable profiles, keep it separate so that data security is appropriate. Okay, so let me give this command and it will do. In the meantime, I'll give complete approval, then I'll explain certain other things. Yeah, so now this is one new feature that is see Claude Code entered a mode called plan mode. So whenever it need to think, it goes to the plan mode. So now we have given clear instruction that you need to think architect design before you start coding so that you do it wisely. So it entered into plan mode. So in a plan mode, it will think more and then it will design and then go to the coding. Okay, so right now it is in mm, plan mode. It entered to the plan mode. To design the connections features, let me explore the code base to understand existing architecture design based approach. Okay, so now why I asked that detail, right now I have only profiles collections. So as we build more feature, more collection, more documents will get created. Right now I have profiles, which is public information which are discoverable. Right, I want to keep public discoverable profile separately and user content separately. How many connections he is having until he gives permission for that discoverability, that should not be exposed. Right, that is why it is better to design. In profile, we have only profiles as a collection. As we build more feature, you will have more collection and it will grow up for enterprise level global networking platform. So right now it is having very simple profile structure where it has the profile detail, education, experience, etc., etc. So right now, when you build collections, then we'll see what are the collection structure after we add a one profile connected to another profile. In the meantime, I created two user. Right now in the database, you saw two profiles, right? Both are mine, one with one email ID and another with another email ID. Mm, Mohammed Rafi is one and Mohammed Rafi S is one, right? So both I have logged in. So now let me log in. Yeah, this is the glitch I need to fix. I think I'll fix this later. I'll create one now, one more. Okay, it logged in. Okay, so now these are the two profiles I have. One you can see with the profile photo, which is Mohammed Rafi. Another one is Mohammed Rafi, yes. Okay, so now these two, I want to use the connection feature and make both the profile connected. So that is what feature we are building. So let's see how it is building. In the meantime, until it comes back, it is doing some work in the back end. We'll look at the agentic core specification because that is very important. Although it created autonomously, what I'll do, I'll make this, yeah, so we'll keep checking whether it is completed. Okay, so now let's look at the document, which is very good to understand because now you need to build application in a reimagined way. What it means is you will have Right, we'll go to the architecture and then talk about it, which is very important. Every person, AI engineer need to be aware, because I see there are a lot of different thinking and perspectives happening. Somebody is thinking I need to use AI for only IT, which means how can I build faster the way I building. Okay, other crowd is thinking, okay, I need to build agentic application, leaving aside how business is working currently. What is needed or what will happen, right? It is a mixed approach. You need to have application which is kind of working in the current ways of building the application. What it means, deterministic application. Okay, it is not here. Maybe I have it in the design specification. And you need to build agentic features. So both need to be interconnected. You will not have separate agentic applications sitting outside, and you will have traditional deterministic application sitting separately. You need to reimagine how the IT application need to be built with agentic first approach. Okay, let me open that architecture diagram. Give me a minute. Yeah, so here if you see connection data model already defined when types, so it is working on CRUD, etc. Let it work. Okay. In the meantime, I'll teach you something else. So because we don't need to, uh, yeah. Okay, let's ask me some question. Create separate user collection. Yes. So whenever it is having question in mind, so it's like as a developer comes back and ask an architect or a lead developer. So now it is asking why? Because the profiles is the only collection it is there, right? I instructed you need to keep separate. So it is asking option one, you want user collection separately, or you want to put it in profile with security. It is also giving the recommendation, what it thinks. So that is the right option. Then second question, search, browse users by name, skills, location, send, receive, connection. Okay, now I'll select all. So see the different types of questions. So now they're making Claude Code more effective to be user interactive. Whenever it needs input, it is asking. So first is a single option. It is a multiple selection now. So I want user to filter when you connect based on name, skill, location, and connection request, and we manage connection list, agent initiated connection request. So yeah, so I select, okay, wait, and next, how do I know? So these are the, okay, hold on, let me complete and talk. Bi-directional mutual, like LinkedIn, yes. Privacy, hide email from public preview. Hide profile from search unless connected. So now it took input and then it will start working. So you given a prompt and then it started thinking and working. In between the working mode, it is, if it needs an input to make it more effective, it is asking. So before we started with vibe coding and then a spec coding with more detail. Now I don't know what do you call this one. It's an interactive coding. So within the vibe coding, so it asks a question and it collaborates. It's a collaborative vibe coding. Okay, so let's come back to our agent reimagined thing, right? So now this is the base layers. Okay, so now let me explain with this view. Okay, you will have client layer. So which means you need to have UI to visualize things, which will be combination of two. You will have conversational plus navigation. So user interface will, before it was only navigation. So in the future it will have conversation plus navigation and plus autonomous. So which means the agent will send request to another agent and it will accept if it is a high autonomous level setup. So which means no conversation at all. If you want to have conversation, you can have a conversation. If you want to have navigation, you will have navigation. That UI layer, client layer will be having navigation plus conversation plus autonomous. So that is the change that will happen. And in the business layer, before we used to have microservices and API, which are used to which are called by the client. So backend for front end we add so that the client are more efficient. So now in this layer, you will have agentic core and orchestration layer and a lot of agents. And you will connect within the agents in your application, and you will also connect agents across the enterprises. So that is the world coming. So now you will have single agent, you will have multi-agent, you will have agents within your enterprise, you will have agents across the enterprise. So agentic mesh, all the concepts are coming in. So now I just want to focus on that part. For each agent, you will have agent skills and you will have LLM API to be called, passing on the right context and the right prompt to get the right response, and stitching that stateless LLM API call into memory based and taking the decision based on business logic, etc. Now let me explain to the agentic core. Okay, agentic core, right now. mm, So it is this is the initial when we created the MEP. So that time it told about agentic core components. So basically here you will have multiple agents. One for here it is depicting personal. We'll go to the spec after this. So here in the initial view, it has given 2, 3 as an example. Okay, personality engine. So tone, style, strength, and then which can be used and the context coming from interactions and user preference and goals. If the goal could be getting a job, if a person coming out of college, or if a person existing working in IT for some time, you need to reimagine to AI engineer. How do we build with AI? How can you build agentic application? So you need to get similar skilled people in the network so that you can improve the skill faster. So the goal could be different. And decision engine, how can you approve a connection request, etc. And memory system you need. So all of this, that agent core is what you need to reimagine your application, put into your traditional deterministic system. That is the key part to observe. Okay. The layers will change. The client layer, UI layer will change to have navigation plus conversation plus autonomous. And business logic layer will change before microservice and API is there. Now you need to have agentic core plus microservice and API plus tools for MCP server plus agent skills. Okay, so that is what we are going to build as Epic after this connection things built up. Now we'll go to the specification which was created to build this capability, which are more detailed. Wait, I think it's asking. Okay, so now what it has done. So now it has detailed plan to create must create files, must modify files, and security checklist, etc. Then what is asking? Migration and security. Okay, this you forget about it. I think it's doing some traditional estimation technique. It was thought to do. You don't need weeks, etc. Approve this plan. Confirm architecture approach. Okay, now the architecture priority security. Okay. Yes or not accepted it. Yeah. Yeah, now it has completed the plan, so it is going to build now. So it has a clear view of what are the files it need to build, and then it will start building all of this one by one. And it also thought through it need to make database changes for collection and indexes, rules for access, etc. So process profiles collection. Okay, let it complete. Let it complete, and meantime I'll explain the agentic core, which is interesting part, which you need to rescale yourself. Yeah, here it has put gatekeeper agent, profile agent, orchestration agent, etc. So let me keep it like this. Yeah. So trust agent, scheduled, etc. Right. So now, hmm. So from this we'll see agentic implementation. So now there are different frameworks. Okay, there are a lot of agentic kit, development kit. There is one from Anthropic. There is one from Google. There is one from AWS. There is one from OpenAI. So now I use Longchain. So that is open source. So maybe I'll go with that. Mm, yeah, the agents profile agent, it is guiding us to do based on Firestore trigger, gatekeeper agent, and orchestration agent. And it is using different techniques when that agent will start. This is agent to agent conversation. So you have to test these are all new parts, right? Some places it may work perfectly. Some places we may need to change after the base implementation. Some places it may fail also because these are all not proven thing. It's evolving every day and every week, right? So now we need to start building the skill as it also given cost estimation. Since I'm using Firebase, so I need to move to Blaze, which I already did. So it may cost me for 100 users to run this application anywhere between $5 to $20 per month for cloud function. And Cloud Firestore, it may cost $2 to $10 per month for 100K read and write, etc. And Firebase hosting, I think, and OpenAI cost. It has given the estimation for the MVP phase also. So GPT mini is used for certain task and GPT-5 is used for certain task for thinking. So the cost is different. So if you see here, for 50 conversations per day, this is going to cost 75, 100 conversation per day. This is going to cost 30 because the mini will cost lesser. GPT-5 is a bigger model, so it will cost more, but we can use it for reasoning, task, etc. So overall cost $110 per month for 100 users. That's what it is saying. So that's okay. I'll spend that and then maybe it will help me to learn to build agentic application with agent core. That is the purpose that I'm doing these episodes. And you can also learn, but you will not get a real-time experience until you build an application with agentic core into that. When you do, then you will start thinking. Until then, your mind will not think. Yeah, so you need to start building a agentic core, agentic application. Then only you will realize, okay, whether I need to have a use case just by calling LLM. Don't talk too much of buzzwords of agentic, multi-agent, etc. Even that works very great. If you give the right context and then do the right prompting, then you can get right results. You need to balance between deterministic system. Okay, what it is done. Excellent. Let me make the phase one complete. Data migration security. I have successfully implemented foundational architecture for connection feature has been implemented. What I'll do, I'll delete both the profile. Okay, I'll close, and then I'll delete the profiles collection. We'll start fresh because now it's going to create profiles and collection user collection objects. So that is the change it is saying. Authflow will create user and profile documents on sign up. Okay, we'll delete the old MEP data, which is any testing phase only right now. Today's session may be a little longer because I'm planning to cover the agentic part also. Let us see. Yeah, now when it builds, it got the error. So it will fix it by itself. I need to fix a compilation error. The dashboard is still trying to use the email field. So how long it took? Another 30 minutes, right? Approximately. So in 30 minutes, you can build a feature. So before you cannot even detail that feature in 30 minutes. And please note that right now the connection and LinkedIn are the general terminologies. Professional networking was there for um, so many years. It is public domain, right? But if there is any specific domain where the detailing of feature is based on specific uh, knowledge which is not known to LLM, then it cannot do. So you need to be you need to know that part. For that, you need to have a domain modeling, a domain-based LLM. Maybe you need to fine-tune the model, etc. But on a general context, building any application, building front end and back end. The technology part as a developer it will do. If you want to build anything specifically, the domain knowledge you need to give it more detailing in the specification or as a requirements. In those cases, I think it may be taking a little longer to write the specification. So basically context engineering will take longer time, but your uh, coding will not take longer time. So once you have this skill to develop with AI, way to how to work with AI to run with all the techniques and to do gear one and gear two, gear three. So basically, you will become very powerful AI engineer who can build application at a rapid pace, which is the highly wanted skill now. Overall, having that skill, they are launching. They're part of the enterprises, or they can create their own company with small team uh, to build a unique idea quickly into market. The innovation, there is no limit now. So the pace is very high, and the dependency on technical capability is kind of thrown out, right? So you can go at faster pace. Right now, you need to reimagine. Every industry need to reimagine. Otherwise, there is a risk for existence of that particular company and particular industry. Competition is going to go crazy. Yeah, now it built, it is deploying. Once the connection feature works, I think logically we'll conclude this episode. Maybe I'll start episode 5 for agentic core, and maybe both I'll publish quickly. Yeah. Yeah. Now it's doing one by one. First it deployed indexes, etc. Now it's deploying the backend cloud function, and it will deploy the front end. Front end it deployed already. It deployed. No, it just built it. Yeah. And you need to use serverless architecture because the agentic, whenever it needs, it will use the compute. So you don't need to. It chooses the serverless architecture. If you see, if you manually code, people will do either only microservices and containerized application. But now it chooses the best. Whenever you invoke a use case or whenever agent need to work, then only the compute will get kicked in. Yeah, so this the function is getting deployed. So this is the agentic network. So database, we will delete that once it completes. And hosting is what I use for the agentic network app. It's also verifying those functions are there running. Please share your feedback. I just started this episode series to upskill your capabilities. So if it is going in right direction, let me know. If we need to improve, if we need to focus on anything, if something is not clear, let me know. So let me deploy the front end again just to make sure. Okay, so now what is saying? I'll delete this collection. Let me also check the Google sign in. Is there any challenge in the way it is handling the authentication? So based on the prompt, it will go to the right file. That is the beauty. It understand how to navigate even if you have thousands or more files. Okay, it found some issue identified. Let us see. I don't know. It will identify the context and it will figure out the issue and it will go and change. Okay, most of the time it works. Um, for a human to triage, it's very difficult actually. Normally, first you need to know which file I need to change. If there are too many files, until otherwise you have everything in your fingertip, the structure and the files, etc. Then you need to debug. You will do uh, some testing and then you will fix it. Then you will test it. Sometimes you need to be cautious. If your code is more stable, then if you want to do cautiously change, you need to go to that particular file and narrow down the context and then work on that file. Otherwise, it will just change everything. So you need to be careful when to use gear 1, gear 2, gear 3, or stop if needed and take the control back. And maybe you need to do manual coding at times if needed. So in this episode, we will be covering the gear 1, gear 2, the agentic core. I think after concluding this episode, I will kind of start on episode 5, which is agentic core. Yeah, I'll publish the agentic core episode 5 tomorrow. So let's conclude on connection features today. So now that I deleted all the authentication and user, so it's going to be a new sign in, and I'm going to set up 2 user and then connect to each other. Lavani. Okay, so now let me explain this also. Say I use Claude Code. I will explain the subscription model now. So now, say I use too much of token, and Claude Code is putting a restriction. So it is saying, okay, you reach the limit. Either you wait until 11 a.m., which is for me it's a 9 a.m. almost 2 hours, or you upgrade to next plan. Okay, right now, let me go to Claude. What it means, I'll show you. So Claude uses two model, one subscription plus API. Okay, now if you need to have uh, pro subscription, then only you can do Claude Code. That is number one. So the Pro is having certain limit. So after you hit the limit, it will tell you, okay, either you need to wait, come back to your usage limit when it enable again. So right now I hit the limit because I'm using too much of token. So now it is asking me to either you upgrade to max or you wait. Okay, so now for me, let me upgrade to max. Uh, I don't want to wait. It's okay. I think I'm learning my skills, so I'll spend some cost for the learn. Let me upgrade it in another screen. Okay, it's encrypted only. Yeah. So it is giving 5x more usage than Pro. So right now, whatever I use, it will give me 5x more capability. If you want 20x more token usage, then you need to upgrade to 180 plan. So they have $15 plan, which is Pro, and Max is this, and then this is your Super Max, or I don't know what they call. So I think for me, I'll go to 90 dollars since my card detail is there. I think it will go. Nowadays, everybody is becoming smarter. Mm, I think in a single click, it will allow me to upgrade. Done. Okay, so now I can continue. Okay, right now. Yeah, so I've been spending some money, but basically I'm learning my skill. My skill is improving, so that's all matter. I'm using this cost as a training cost for me. So let me go back and then say, see, Claude Code is sending to upgrade. So basically, they are doing upselling in Cloud Code. So see the beauty. So that's why Claude and Anthropic is becoming more profitable. You can look at their how did they do in 2024 and how they are doing in 2025. They are kind of grown up in their revenue ARR drastically in this year. Yeah, now let's come back to our work. Yeah, what it means, if you want to start, first you need to have Claude Pro subscription plus API. I think API you may need or not, don't need, I don't remember exactly. Without Claude Pro, got, I think, whatever $15, the basic subscription, Claude Plus or Pro, yeah, Pro, right? So you cannot do Claude Code. So you need to have that basic $15 subscription, then you can do Claude Code, and that is good enough for you to start with. So I used that for 2-3 months, and after that I went to Pro. Then I felt it is too much, 5x I'm not using. I went back to Pro, and now I'm again hitting the limit and then changing it to Max. So you can find out what is your need, and accordingly you can keep either Pro or Max for individual user. So enterprises, I think there could be different plans that I have not figured it out. But for individual to gain your skill, I think you may need to invest $15 a month to make it hands-on, and then use the tokens wisely. Don't waste it. Think of a good idea. Don't follow somebody. And whatever is interesting, you pick up an application and start building and feel how AI is working, and do with gear one, gear two, gear three approach, something with a slow approach, asking at the context in a file, something at the modular level, feature building. something at the epic level, then you will gain your AI engineer, AI empowered engineer capability. Now it's, I think, started moving to phase 2. What is phase 2? Getting it clear. Since we put max, I think it's starting to accelerate to phase 2, I think. I wanted it to stop. And if you give right specification, it can code up to, I think, many hours. I have seen it coding for 20 minutes continuously. It can also code in hours together. That's what I'm hearing in some of the videos from Anthropic. So it has a capability to go code continuously. Let's see, logically, if it stops somewhere, we'll close this episode. So it's creating the UI component functions and components. Under connection is creating many components. Okay, going to code here now. So it's created page. And finally, we'll see how many, what is the lines of code in our project after this. So it created the components and it created the pages, and then it's creating the request, connection request and acceptance approval details. So these are the modules. So it's structured properly. Profile is a one module, dashboard is one module, connection is one module, authorization is one module. Authorization, you have sign in, sign up. Connection, it is having request sent. So it properly structures, which is, I think, amazing. People ask, okay, is it hallucinating or not? I am amazed to see what it is doing currently. It's trying to build some hooks. See, it's already, yeah, it took around 8 minutes continuously to code. Okay. So now what is the summary? Is it done? Phase one, phase two is done. What's working now? What's next? Search discovery. Yeah. So what I'll do logically, I'll close this episode here, but I'll let it run to complete phase three, phase four, phase five in the background. And in next episode, what we will see is building the agentic core functions. So until then, this is Rafi. So see you in next episode. If you have any feedback, please let me know. And either in YouTube channel video comments or in LinkedIn comments, or you can send one-to-one uh, message to me in LinkedIn. Yeah, thank you. Happy learning. Bye.